You want it to be one way.
What?
You want it to be one way.
Man, I don't
want
know
it to be one
Man,
way.
stop. Stop saying that.
What is the other way?
All right. Well, all right. We tapped in, back at it again. It's your boy Claymore Rain. It's ATP Combat Media Show. Thank you. Salute to all my subscribers. And if you are not subscribed, please, I invite you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell icon on the video so that you are alerted to all content that I'll be putting out. Well, we are here. Let's get to it and let's talk about it. It is fight weekend. All the build up is gone. It's come and culminated to this point. Pause. At the end of the day, we have a big event going on in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is really tapped in right about now to this boxing algorithm. They're really stirring up the pot with a completely stacked card, all heavyweights. I think there's one light heavyweight on the card. We have, we'll just talk about the top three, in my opinion. You know, won't go through the whole card, but it's supposed to be like 8 fights, all heavyweight for the most part. Also, what's significant and unique about this new promotion coming out is that we have 3 promotional companies. I don't know if you guys are aware how significant that is, but you got 3 different promotional companies coming together to put this event on. You've got QUEENSBERRY, which is Frank Warren's promotional team. You've got MATCHROOM, which everybody knows is Eddie Hearn, and then you have GOLDSTAR Promotion, which is a promotional company out of the UK. Now, this is you know, for the most part, hosted by the UK. A UK promotional event, but it's significant because Saudi Arabia has managed to coordinate a model to where multiple promotional companies are willing to come together to bring their fighters that they represent together to compete with each other. And I think that just right there lays out a blueprint to how hopefully all here on the stateside we will see that happening here, where you can see a top rank with a Golden Boy. I've seen that actually. I've actually seen a top rank in the Golden Boy promotion, but to see PBC really working with, you know, Top Rank or vice versa, just to have all the stateside promotional companies able to come together so that we can make these fights that we're not able to see, right? So on this event in particular, we've got Dubois versus Gerald Miller, Big Baby Jerry Miller. And if you guys remember, Gerald Miller was a fighter who was actually set up to fight Anthony Joshua back when Anthony Joshua ended up taking that last-minute fight against Andy Ruiz and losing in that fight. He was actually preparing for Gerald Miller. It was going to be his premier debut in the States and Madison Square Garden, and Gerald Miller actually popped on PED test, right? Steroids, right? That's what they're saying, right? And I would say allegedly, but I don't think it was allegedly because they found it and they held him accountable and suspended him for however long they plan on suspending him. And he definitely got that fight taken away from him, that opportunity taken away from him based on the results of that test. So he's this is his first time on a big stage since that. He's had some fights in between that moment till now, but this is his first big show, right, on the biggest stage. And he's fighting against Danny Dubois, whose last fight against I'm going off the head here, but I mean I'm pretty accurate, right? Alexander Usyk, where actually that was a controversial fight because Daniel Dubois hit Usyk, for my opinion, and a lot of other pundit opinions, was that he hit him with a shot to the solar plexus, and it put Usyk down, but the referee called it as a low blow. So while Usyk was on the ground for well over a 10 count, he actually got an opportunity to recover for about 5 minutes from a shot that most people feel like if the referee would have called it for what it was, would have been at least a 10 count. And even if he got up on the 10 count, he would have had to fight Danny Dubois, still recovering from that. Danny Dubois obviously feels cheated a little bit in that situation and feels like in his mind he should be a unified champion right now. So he's coming from from that situation. Also, the way he lost that fight, he kind of gave up a little bit. You know, a lot of people feel like he gave up a little bit, went down, felt like he could get up, but he kind of chose to not get up. And he has a reputation now. I think he's done it about 2 or 3 times, to where they feel like he's, you know, not showing that grit that they want to see the fighter show. So this fight right here is a big deal for him. It's an opportunity for redemption for him. He has a tall order in front of him with Gerald Miller. Gerald Miller comes from a mixed martial arts background. He's also done kickboxing, and now as a professional boxer has an undefeated record. And really, for a big guy, Gerald Miller is a big guy who has a lot of movement, kind of a Tyson Fury-ish type of energy. You know, Tyson Fury being as big as he is and as light as he is on his feet, it's kind of like one of those like phenomenon, you know what I mean, once in a generation type talents because of his ability to move around that way. Gerald Miller also brings that with him. He brings the ability to move around, give different looks. He's pretty fast, a pretty fast puncher. I mean, this guy is going to be coming in the ring probably well over the 300-pound mark. So this is going to be a big guy coming in the ring to compete against Danny Dubois. As far as skills is concerned, I think Daniel Dubois does bring that pedigree. He is a good boxer. But like I said, at times it seems like he's minus or missing that grit, that grind, that dog that he needs to compete at this level. So he has a real tall order in front of him. Gerald Miller's always game, always talking trash, always ready for whoever's in front of him, and that's the way that's going to be. So, you know, we'll keep that eye on that fight, because that fight may be actually fight of the night. That might actually be the best fight of the night because of the talent that's going to be in the ring, because of Gerald Miller, who brings that excitement, and because Danny Dubois, if motivated, which it seems like he is motivated, at this press conference he actually flipped. It was funny because at this final press conference, it's like they flipped actual roles. Danny Dubois actually came out talking trash, calling Gerald Miller his baby and he's a daddy, and you know, he tried, you know what I mean, he tried, but you could tell Danny Dubois just cut from a civilized, refined cloth, to where he carries himself with a certain amount of respect. But I think he thought, like, you know, I'm gonna meet the fire with fire, because Gerald Miller started the build up to this whole entire press run really fired up and talking that trash that he does coming from Brooklyn. So he did that, and amazingly enough, Gerald Miller actually took the back seat and was like, listen, I'm gonna let him have that. We've done enough of that talking. You know, the fight is here. And he seems to just been like, it don't matter anymore. We did what we had to do to build up this fight. Now we're fighting tomorrow, and I'm just gonna be focusing. I'm laser in, focused in on making a statement tomorrow night. Danny Dubois has promised a stoppage. He says he's going to stop Gerald Miller, but you know, it's talk. Talk is talk. There was a Danny Dubois in the past few years that you expected a stoppage if he got in the ring. As of late, you know, as the competition has stepped up, you know, he's kind of had a you know, he's kind of slowed down in that area a little bit. So we'll see what he does, though, regardless. Like I said, keep an eye on this fight. This fight right here may be, quite frankly, be the most exciting fight on the card, or one of the most exciting fight on the card, outside of, you know, the co-main event, which is probably going to be, you know what I mean, not the fight of the night, but probably the moment of the night, right? The meme moment of the night. And that co-main event is none other than Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, who'll be facing against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker comes from a pedigree of boxing. I think he's faced the better competition as far as experience is concerned in the ring. He probably has more rounds under his belt than Deontay, being that Deontay's been known for shutting down fights inside of, you know, 3 to 5 rounds, sometimes in the first round. He's fought for championships before, where Deontay doesn't necessarily have that experience, because he's normally come in the ring as a champion, the WBC champion at one point in time, and he's usually defending his title, or, you know, fighting against Tyson Fury, which I think is you can't even put a price on how valuable those 3 matches he had with Tyson Fury, over 36 rounds of fighting with Tyson Fury. The experience just in that alone is going to elevate his skill set to a certain point. But I'm going to be honest with you, ever since the Tyson Fury fight, he's only had 1 round since that fight, right? And that was against Robert Helenius, where he knocked him out inside of a minute and like a half, 2 minutes of the first round. Really just didn't get that much, you know, didn't get that much fight time and just stopped him with a quick shot, and that was it. And since then, which was about a year and a half ago, he hasn't fought. He's just been in the gym relaxing, and there's good and bad things that come with that, right? Like, one thing is that obviously he's well rested, probably not, he's probably injury free, had time to work on new things, and we'll get an opportunity to see that. But once again, until it happens, we don't know. The negative part about it is, as well as, like, ring rust is real. Some people don't believe in it, some people do. I've seen some fighters come in from long periods of time of taking a hiatus, or whether it was an injury or whatever personal reasons for staying outside of the ring, come back like they never left and just get right back from where they left off from the last time they're in the ring. And then you have other fighters who come back and kind of lose that rhythm. They don't have it. So we're going to see how Deontay handles that, and if he's able to come back like he never left. I know he's been working with a lot with his coach. I can't even remember his name. Oh God, what is your coach's name? Deontay. It'll come to me, I'm sure. But he's been working with him on a lot of different things, capitalizing on what he does best, not changing him as much as just adding to what he does. So we'll see if that translates in a ring with somebody like Joseph Parker, who's a disciplined fighter. Has the fundamentals. I don't think Joseph Parker is great at any particular thing, but he is good at everything, right? So take that for how you want to, take that for whatever it's worth to you. He's not great at any one thing, but he's good at everything. So he's a solid all-around fighter. He understands that, the assignment is to stop Deontay, but more importantly, stay away from that right hand. That right hand is going to end your night if you allow that right hand to connect. And Deontay Wilder, if he hasn't mastered, he's not a fighter who's good at everything, but he's great at one thing, right? And that's landing that right hand. So we're going to see what that looks like inside of the ring. We're going to see Joseph Parker with his good at everything approach, and Deontay Wilder with his mastery of one specific thing. Deontay Wilder said some significant things in the press conference that I don't want to say raised concern for me, because I'll tell you what, years ago, I was actually very concerned for a fighter like Deontay Wilder, because under my opinion, Deontay Wilder not, being a traditional fighter, right? Not being somebody who comes into the ring with those fundamental things that most what you would consider good fighters are. Like I say, Joseph Parker's all around good in everything, but not great at one thing. Deontay didn't bring that. He brought that right hand, and he had a lot of holes, in my opinion, in the way he approached fighting. In my opinion, I always consider Deontay Wilder a fighter, not so much a boxer. And I hope that doesn't go over your head, if that makes any sense. He's a fighter. He's going to go in there and he brings that equalizer in there, and if he can land it, he's going to stop the fight. But there's been a lot of fights where Deontay Wilder's actually been losing on the cards because he's not scoring points the right way. He's not as defensively responsible as he should be at times. He's not able to, dictate the pace like he'd want to, because he gets in the ring with a fighter who really understands the value of good footwork and, having a good jab and, controlling distance and coming in and coming out and hitting and not getting hit. And Deontay never really brought that. I would say in the past few months or years, I would say since the Tyson Fury 1 to Tyson Fury 3 to the Robert Helenius fight, I have seen him evolving in the boxing department, but still not there where I would be comfortable sitting here saying that I consider him a great boxer. So we're going to see whatever he's been working on in that gym for this past year and a half, if we're going to see more boxing, better footwork, balance, patience. We're going to get to see a whole lot of things. So, but this fight, obviously, because of Deontay Wilder's record, stands to be the most exciting moment of the fight, where he'll be boxing. You can see Joseph Parker winning one round after another one, putting rounds in the bag. And then, once that right hand is lasered in and finds its target, Joseph Parker probably gets stopped. But there is opportunities here for Joseph Parker to give the quote-unquote upset. And that's what it is today, going to be an upset, because years ago I wouldn't have said that. But I've just seen Deontay Wilder defy the odds so many times as far as getting in the ring with like a Luis Ortiz or something of that nature. Even Tyson Fury in the first fight, to where I know that these guys are better boxers than him, but that right hand finds its home, and those guys are laying on the back, looking at the ceiling, trying to come back to earth. Tyson Fury was able to do it, but every other fighter hasn't been able to do it, right? So that's going to be an interesting fight. Now we can get into the main event of the evening, which is going to be Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallen. This is going to be an interesting fight. If you guys aren't aware and haven't followed, Otto Wallen was actually a fighter who fought Tyson Fury, like I want to say 1.5 to 2 years ago. It was in between the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 1 match and the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 2 match, where Tyson Fury got in there. Was that in between there? I might be wrong. Might have actually been before the Deontay Wilder fight. I'll be honest with you, maybe not. But regardless, Otto Wallen really ran it with Tyson Fury. Actually, had him bleeding, really put some bruises and something, put hands on him. Tyson Fury won that fight with a unanimous decision because, once again, his ability to box, control distance, hit and not get hit. When he felt, when he felt like he needed to stay outside of the firefight, Tyson Fury was able to do it with those long arms, with that big body, and with that ability, with those light on his toes attributes that he brings to the ring. He was able to contain and walk away with unanimous decision. But that is Otto Wallen's only loss, is against Tyson Fury in a fight where a lot of people felt like he was very competitive. Otto Wallen is also like a Joseph Parker. He's not great at any one particular thing, but he's good at everything. So he's a solid fighter. He brings those boxing pedigree that, he's not going to be a fish out of water in that ring. Anthony Joshua, we know what he brings to the table. And actually, outside of the fact that I think Anthony Joshua is a great boxer, what we're going to be looking for in this fight is, where is he mentally? Does he have that killer instinct? I haven't really seen that in him since before Andy Ruiz, right? And Andy Ruiz was a boxer's boxer, and really gave Anthony Joshua problems, presented him with problems, as well as an Alexander Usyk, who presented Anthony Joshua with problems, actually beat all these guys who are solid boxers, beat Anthony Joshua because his inability to accept, in my opinion, his inability to accept what he's good at and accept the fact that he's not good in certain areas, right? Or he's not great in certain areas. So where all of a sudden now he's become this, he wanted to be a boxer. After he lost it to Andy Ruiz, he went into the gym and went back to the drawing board and wanted to bring boxing back. He wanted to be a high level pugilist. And, at this point in the game, it's not that it's bad to work on those things. It's great to work on those things, but it's also equally as important to understand where your strengths are, to capitalize on your strengths, and not to focus your whole trajectory of your journey on this new way of approaching this thing. Mike Tyson says it. I quote it all the time because I think it just reigns so true. Make sure you dance with who brought you to the party, and what brought Anthony Joshua to the party was knockouts. Behind Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua has the highest knockout ratio in the heavyweight division. That's not by accident, and that's not a coincidence. That's who he is. But mentally, if Anthony Joshua is not able to come to an agreement and an understanding of who he is and what he's supposed to be doing, and getting the way he fights and his identity on the same page, so that he can manifest what he used to manifest back in the day when he laid down Vladimir Klitschko, those legendary fights he had when he laid down Dillian White, when he had those big signature stoppages that really is what caused the buzz to be so high around him. He needs to bring that Anthony Joshua back, and he's going to have an opportunity to do that tomorrow night against Otto Wallen. Otto Wallen brings that pedigree, like I said. If he's able to control that distance, Otto Wallen's job is going to be to win this fight one round at a time. Just put rounds in the bag. Take away rounds from Anthony Joshua. Don't stay away from his right hand, and there's a good chance at the end of the night that Otto Wallen maybe could walk away with a decision win, or maybe a stoppage somewhere in the mid rounds, a stoppage. Now, in my opinion, at the same time, while I'm saying all of this, I think it's also important to understand that we know that this event is being built up, and they're expecting Anthony Joshua to win, and they're expecting Deontay Wilder to win, because everybody wants to see that super fight. The Saudis are, coordinating and already have a date from what I understand, of March 9th. Don't quote me, but I'm sure I'm right. March 9th, they already have a date cemented in as to where they want to see Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder come in. Now, whenever you see things like that, when they're setting up dates for fights before one fight is even done, you have to get leery about how the judges are thinking about the match, right? So, you know, nobody's talking about Otto Wilder fighting Deontay Wilder March 9th, and nobody's talking about Joseph Parker fighting Anthony Joshua March 9th, right? Right? You get the message? So Otto Wilder's chances of winning a close decision, I say slim to none. If he's going to win a decision, it has to be a dominant, undeniable statement being made. And even in that situation, we might see some nonsense from the judges. It won't be the first and it won't be the last, right? So we'll see how that turns out. Anthony Joshua, I think everybody's looking for him to stop Otto Wilder. He wants to make a statement and a message, something that's going to promote and give some fire behind the Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua future match that they're planning for on March 9th. Anthony Joshua also has another thing that we need to be concerned about. He seems to be in a whirlwind of going through trainers, right? So in this fight tonight, tomorrow night, he's coming with Ben Davidson. If you guys aren't aware who Ben Davidson is, he is actually the trainer. He's actually the trainer that was for Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury fought the first Deontay Wilder. And he was a trainer for Tyson Fury all the way up until that point. Now, obviously, Tyson Fury went ahead and switched trainers, went with Emmanuel Lewis's nephew, and changed Tyson Fury to where he became a knockout puncher as well. But in that first match, really was just boxing a lot. Wasn't looking like he was looking for the kill shot. So, Tyson Fury wanted to change that, and he changed his coach. He's out of England, and now he's coaching and training Anthony Joshua. Now, what's weird about it is because Anthony Joshua left who he was with to go to Derrick James. Now, he was with Derrick James for a little while, had like 2 matches with Derrick James. He did okay. I mean, he did stop Robert Helenius in the late rounds. A lot of people feel like he still didn't have that killer instinct that they expected to see from him. So, being that he trains in England, I guess in my mind, when I see it, I see that Anthony Joshua is having an issue with living in Texas, being that he lives in England. He has a family and kids out there. Obviously, Derrick James couldn't commit to going out there to train him in England. So what Anthony Joshua did was he went and grabbed Ben Davidson to train him for this. But there's this, he's saying that that Derrick James isn't gone, that he plans on going back to Derrick James for the Deontay Wilder fight. So for the Deontay Wilder fight, he plans on training with Derrick James. Some pundits like Teddy Atlas and other people who have talked about it don't feel like that's a good thing to be going from coach to coach, and one coach has one style culture of looking at how boxing should be, and another coach has another conflicting style, or at least different style. How does that affect a fighter? Because at the end of the day, we're creatures of habits, right? What you do most of the time is probably what you're going to do all of the time, right? Or you could just say what you do most of the time is what you're going to do most of the time. So when you're just not building those habits and you're just doing specific things for specific fighters, it can work against you. And equally, or at least at the same time, in the same sentence or same breath, we can say that it could help him, because he might need to prepare in a different way to fight against an Otto Wilder than he needs to prepare to go against a Deontay Wilder. Maybe Derrick James' approach to training him is a better way of approaching fighting Deontay Wilder, and maybe Ben Davidson vice versa is the better way of approaching Deontay Wilder, and Ben Davidson's approach is more in line with how he should be approaching Otto Wilder. Who knows? Once again, it's the night of the fight that you get these questions answered. Hindsight is always 20/20 over foresight, right? Because to be able to look back and see how something worked out, it all makes sense. Everything clicks. Yeah, duh. That's why that. Like, right? That's how we do. So we'll see on fight night. Those are the big questions that I have and what I'll be looking for. Anthony Joshua looked real good. He's actually thinned up, lost some weight, which in my opinion is a good thing. I thought Anthony was way too much muscle. I think with muscle, it's hard to get that blood flow to all that muscle, and it hurts your stamina, right? It hurts your staying power to be in that ring. So he came in looking like in real good shape. Anthony Joshua has been very focused this week with all the build up, the interviews. You see that he's just it's one of a few things, right? It's an extreme one way or the other. It's either he's super focused and just locked in for this fight like he's never been locked in, or maybe he is feeling some kind of way. Maybe there's a lack of confidence there and he's trying to overcompensate and show, you know, kind of put on this front like, you know, like he's not playing any games and whatever. Once again, hindsight, right? 2020. We'll see and know better after the fight. But he's definitely had like those raccoon eyes a little bit, like almost like he hasn't been sleeping as much as maybe he should, or his mind has been thinking about a lot. You know, there's been a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua on this press run. People are keep throwing in his face Deontay Wilder situation, and a lot of people are putting the blame on him, saying that he's actually ducking Deontay Wilder and it's been taking too long for this fight to put together. He's probably a little tired and exhausted from answering the same damn questions. Gerald Miller adding to it, compounding the situation by constantly attacking Anthony Joshua every single time his eyes lock in on this man. He has something to say to this man, calling him out about the fight they were supposed to have and didn't have, and of course rubbing in his face and letting him know and the world know that everybody knows you're scared of Deontay Wilder. You don't want to take that trip to the emergency room or to an early casket. And, you know, it's just been this narrative going around that I could see actually just compounding and turning into a real stressful situation from Anthony Joshua to have to walk through. So I've heard rumors that he's eliminated his phone, eliminated his access to social media. He doesn't want to, you know, hear about, he's trying to tune out the noise and focus on the guy who's in front of him. So he's either focused on that gentleman, or the whole entire build up to this fight is having a total effect on him. Once again, hindsight will answer a lot of these questions a lot better than we can without foresight. But that's the breakdown and what I see coming into the into at least for the headliner, the co-headliner, and the third fight behind him that night. Bivol is also fighting who is Bivol fighting? I believe Lyndon Orter. Yes, Lyndon Orter, who Bivol is fighting. Everybody's going to be interested in this fight as well. This might be a fight of the night as well. Bivol being one of the pound-for-pound best fighters on the planet right now. He's a gentleman who beat Canelo. If you guys don't know who he is, fighting against a game Lyndon Orter. I really don't have a lot of history on Lyndon. I just know that Lyndon did collect a win off of Anthony Yarde, if you don't know, another heavy puncher from out of England. He was able to, in his last fight, win that fight, getting ready to fight Bivol for the light heavyweight championship of the world. One of the belts, I can't remember which belt, so don't hold me to it. You know what I mean? I'm thinking it's the WBC. It's 2 or 3 of the belts. You know what I mean? But regardless, he's coming in, he's game. One of those fighters, not great at everything, but good at everything. Not great at one particular thing, but good at everything fundamentally. But Bivol is a balanced, fundamental European style boxing fighter. You know, sticks to the basics, keeps that jab out there, controls that distance, hits just hard enough to keep you honest, and he just knows how to win fights. And I emphasize on that. He understands how to win fights, which is one round at a time. Bivol doesn't plan on stopping him at any point in the fight. He's going to take what you give him, but he's not going to give up rounds. He's going to win rounds by being defensively responsible, and he's going to stick to those basics. He's going to score points. He's going to be focused on hitting you and focus on not getting hit back. And he's going to, when the 12th round comes, those judges are going to tune into what they thought of the fight, and 9 out of 10 times, meaning that this man is undefeated, right? 9 out of 10 times they're going to find in favor of Bivol. So that's probably where I'm leaning on that fight. But once again, nothing but great fights on this card. Shout out to Saudi Arabia. I'm really, like, I did a video. You guys check out the video on it. I'll be following up on that story and just following up on what they're doing, because I really believe that they're trying to make Saudi Arabia the new capital city for fights, for the big fights at least. When you think about what they brought to the table with supposedly being part of that offer to Gervonta Davis to fight Devin Haney, you know, they're giving promoters like Eddie Hearn and people who are affiliated with them a way to put together super fights by making money not an issue, right? Money's not a problem when you're talking about Saudi Arabia. The crown prince of Saudi Arabia is like a trillionaire. He has no issues with spending a couple $100 million to have a great fight. And he's proving it with this event this weekend, and I'm assuming going into 2024, I'm looking for Saudi Arabia to do even greater things. But on that note, it's your boy Claymore Rain. Do me a favor, guys, in the comments, leave me comments on what you think of who's going to win these fights. What do you think about these fights? What do you think about Anthony Joshua and how distant he's been during this whole entire buildup? What do you think about Deontay Wilder coming out there? Do you guys see any upsets? And you know, they say on a Frank Warren was saying something in the press conference. He said when you have 8 fights of this magnitude on the same card, it's almost a guaranteed high probability that you're going to see an upset. So out of all those fights on the card, where do you guys see the upset? Where does it come from? Me personally, I probably would say I'd keep my eye on the Anthony Joshua Wilder fight. But then again, Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker is also a fight where there can be an upset, because when you're talking about skills pay the bills and a person who only comes in with that one, you know, a game changer, sometimes the skills catch up. You know, Deontay's been outside of the ring for like a year and a half, and before that, you could say, if you just discount that round where he knocked out Robert Helenius, Deontay Wilder hasn't fought in about 2+ years, right? If you look at it correctly and just say that, as far as like, you know, him not being able to box, the rounds he hasn't been able to get in. He's had one round, half a round of fighting since he fought Tyson Fury. So we'll see how that translates. You guys leave a comment, subscribe, you know what I mean? Hit the like button, share. Remember to hit that bell icon so you guys can get all content, alerts for contents I'm putting out. But at this point, it's your boy Claymore Ring. This is ATP Combat Media, and we're out.
They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate.